Tonight on Our News, we are tracking Hurricane Erin.
As we go into the weekend, Hurricane Erin is moving closer to the Bahamas, but are residents in the southern islands prepared? Stay tuned to Our News tonight. We'll have the details.
Plus, meteorologist Greg Thompson off the top with the latest. Remains silent. Jurors in the case of a man accused of stabbing his girlfriend learning how he panicked after the alleged incident despite not taking the stand. And we'll tell you the immigration crackdown leading to the conviction of 7 Haitian men and the deportation of over 40 foreign nationals. Then in Our News at 7:30, absolute outrage. Grand Bahama residents detest high power bills as a summer heat wave lingers. Our News live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to Our News, live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Kindino Knowles. We are keeping a close eye on Hurricane Erin tonight, the first major storm of the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season. While the latest track shows the threat of direct impacts to the Bahamas is easing, Erin still expected to kick up dangerous surf and rip currents along our beaches next week. Right now, the National Hurricane Center says the storm is soaking the northern Leeward Islands, the Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico with heavy rain that's expected to last through Sunday. And it's also bringing the risk of flash flooding, urban flooding, and even landslides. Tropical storm watches are up for parts of the northern Leeward Islands with gusts up to tropical storm force possible there and over in the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico later this weekend. Of course, we are monitoring Erin, and we will bring you the very latest as the forecast evolves tonight and straight into the weekend and into next week. We will check in with meteorologist Greg Thompson for the latest coordinates in just a bit. But of course, for us, our attention back here at home. Authorities on San Salvador, they are on high alert as the storm moves closer to the island's eastern coast. Right now, Erin, a Category 1 storm, but forecasters, they're also warning it could rapidly strengthen into a powerful Category 4 hurricane by Monday, packing winds up to 140 miles per hour. Joshua Williams, he spoke with the island's chief counselor.
Officials in San Salvador say they're ready if Erin brings serious impacts. The first Atlantic hurricane of the season is tracking our way, and forecasters are warning of possible flooding and landslides for islands in its path. It's not expected to hit the Bahamas head-on, but our southern islands could still feel the effects. Chief Counselor Renard Storr says they've been ready for months.
We will do is continue to encourage them, and we will continue to watch it. But from early in the year, we would have prepared these shelters. And we did inspection of these shelters earlier in the year, so we didn't wait like the last minute. And so these shelters are ready. If we need to activate them, we're ready to go. We have generators prepared.
In 2023, when I visited San Salvador, we toured key public spaces like the administrator's office, the clinic, and the local high school. They're not expected to take major damage this time, but Storr says they're still prepared. Being so far from Nassau, the island relies heavily on shipments by sea, and Storr says they're stocked up.
Well, the boat is in now. That's the good thing about that. The boat is actually in now, the KTC, and so we have food supply.
San Salvador has weathered its share of storms, from Floyd in 1999 to Francis in 2004, Irene in 2011, and Joaquin in 2015, which passed directly overhead, bringing heavy damage and storm surge flooding. Storr says that history is why residents need to stay alert.
Just be prepared, even if we don't have to activate the shelters and stuff. We'll pay close attention to the radio and stuff, and in the event we need to activate the shelters and any debris or anything lying around, just clean up in the event.
And while we don't know how much this storm will impact the southern Bahamas, we invite you to stay tuned to Our News for complete coverage this weekend as we track Erin. Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
All right, thanks so much for that, Josh. And of course, we will have more on Hurricane Erin coming up in Our News at 7:30. A man accused of fatally stabbing his girlfriend has elected to remain silent at his trial. Trevor Smith is on trial for the October 10th, 2012 murder of 21-year-old Anthony Hunter. While Smith did not take the witness stand at his trial, jurors heard his account during the trial. According to the 53-year-old, Hunter woke him up and told him she had laced his drink with rat poison and that he was going to die. He claimed that Hunter attacked him with a knife and he stabbed her after he gained control of the weapon. Smith claimed that he panicked after the stabbing and fled the apartment. Prosecutors allege that Hunter tried to break up with Smith and was killed because he refused to move on. And a 44-year-old prisoner is heading back to jail for 6 years after he was caught with a loaded firearm while on a work release program. Jason Ferguson pleaded guilty to possessing an unlicensed gun and ammunition when he appeared before Magistrate Lennox Colby Sr. Police say Ferguson was spotted on a motorcycle on John F. Kennedy Drive on August 11th, a gun on his waist. When officers tried to stop him, they say he sped off, triggering a high-speed chase that ended when he crashed near Theodore Lane. At the time, Ferguson was serving a 3-year sentence for a previous gun offense. He has 1 year left on that sentence. And a busy week for immigration officers, ending with 7 Haitian men convicted of overstaying and more than 40 foreign nationals sent out of the country. The 7 men pleaded guilty before Assistant Chief Magistrate Cara Turnquest DeVoe. The fines ranged from $1,000 to $3,000 with prison time from 3 to 6 months if unpaid. All will be turned over to immigration for deportation once their sentences are complete. Additionally, Thursday morning, 3 flights left New Providence carrying 12 Haitians and 1 Dominican, 9 women, and 2 men. Immigration officials also confirming between August 8th and 12th, another 29 people were deported, including Haitians, Cubans, Dominicans, Jamaicans, and nationals from Cape Verde and Ghana and Mexico. Expanding trade relations to China. This as a trade delegation led by Bahamas China Friendship Association President Dr. Donovan Moxey will travel there as both countries look to strengthen trade ties. The delegation meeting with Her Excellency Jairong Yan, Chinese ambassador to the Bahamas, this week to discuss the group's mission as it gets set to travel. The trip includes various fairs such as Canton Fair, China International Import Expo, and China International Fair for Trade in Services. This comes months after the ambassador called on government to increase direct trade between the country in light of the global tariff war that could cause the price of goods and services imported into the country to soar. All right, 48% of women diagnosed with breast cancer in the Bahamas are under the age of 50. 70% present with the late-stage disease. The statistics, they rank among the highest in the world. In this next report, Danielle Miller speaks with an interventional radiologist with decades of experience to learn more about one of the leading causes and how the disease can be detected early.
Reports show that the Bahamas has one of the highest rates of breast cancer worldwide, with 135 cases per 100,000 women. 48% are under the age of 50, and 25 per 100,000 women have died as a result of the disease.
In the Bahamas, we have mammograms starting at 35, but that is not written in stone by any means.
Dr. Elizabeth Davil, CEO of Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center and interventional radiologist, has over 5 decades of experience in the field. I recently spoke with Dr. Davil about the importance of mammograms and her professional perspective on why the Bahamas ranks so high globally for breast cancer.
Part of the reason is that there are families in the Bahamas who carry a mutation on their BRCA gene. The BRCA gene is a gene that promotes breast cancer in your body.
I came prepared to have a mammogram done today. However, Dr. Davil informed me that I'm under the age of 35, so it's not suggested. However, what is suggested is an ultrasound, as it is never too early to carry out an investigation.
If you find a lump, if you feel that something has changed in your breast or whatever, don't just say to yourself, I'm not old enough. My youngest breast cancer patient is 20. So we would investigate the younger person, the person younger than 35, by an ultrasound rather than a mammogram, because your breast tissue does not mature as quickly as you think.
Dr. Dowell advises regular self-examinations using 4 fingers while showering and yearly mammograms for women of the appropriate age. And she also shares cautionary advice for Bahamian men.
Usually men who get breast cancer, the breast cancer is secondary to some treatment for another cancer. And usually that treatment is prostate cancer.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller.
Coming up in sports, we head to AmeriCup training camp, and yes, we know the games get harder from here on out. Yes, we know this was just a scrimmage, but so what? Let us enjoy the wins.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the Our News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
More than 20 years in the making and still growing. Everywhere you turn, Our News is there. From Charybdis to Caricom and Chogam, the commendation of a queen, the coronation of a king, the controversies, our culture, in times of conscience and collective grief, connecting the stories of a country coming into its own, from then to now and still to come. Our News is everywhere, always there when it counts.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record, we challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. It was a travel day for some of the players on the roster, but once Team Bahamas hit the court in Nicaragua, it quickly turned into a business trip. The men's senior national team was dominant in their first training camp scrimmage ahead of the FIBA AmeriCup with a 95-56 win over the host country in Managua, Nicaragua. Dominic Bridgewater led 5 Bahamian players in double figures with 18 points and 7 assists. Kentuan Smith scored 16. Keno Burrows and Sammy Hunter each had 13. Franco Miller Jr. had a complete stat line with 11 points, 7 boards, and 6 assists, while Isaiah Mobley nearly had a double-double in his national team debut, 9 points, 13 boards, and 3 blocks. The 19th edition of the Caribbean Zonal Volleyball Association Senior Championships are set to get underway this weekend at the Kendall Isaacs Gymnasium. Team Bahamas takes center stage for 2 fixtures right away on Saturday at 7:30 p.m. The men's team goes head-to-head with Jamaica in Group A. Then on Sunday at 8 p.m., the women's team battles Guadeloupe in Pool D action. This marks the first time since 2006 that the Bahamas is hosting this prestigious regional tournament, making it a significant milestone for the nation's volleyball community. The Bahamas' men's 4x100 meter relay team delivered a strong closing performance at the 2025 Junior Pan American Games in Paraguay. Lamar Taylor, Emmanuel Gadsden, Nigel Forbes, and Marvin Johnson finished 7th in the final in a new national record time, 3 minutes 45.26 seconds. And we wrap it all up with your 10YS Plays of the Week. That'll do it for Our Sports. Stay tuned to Our News at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When Our News comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as European scientists say July was Earth's 3rd warmest on record. Plus, 9 people charged in an elections probe involving vote harvesting in Texas. And we'll tell you the fresh record that Bitcoin just hit when Our News returns.
More than 20 years in the making and still growing. Everywhere you turn, Our News is there. From Charybdis to Caricom and Chogam, the commendation of a queen, the coronation of a king, the controversies, our culture, in times of conscience and collective grief, connecting the stories of a country coming into its own, from then to now and still to come. Our News is everywhere, always there when it counts.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record, we challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and the voices that matter. Our discussions shape policy, influence change, and inform the public like no other. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. The conversations that shape the Bahamas start here, on the record.
What do you get when you're searching for the whole truth?
Less than 24 hours after the body of 12-year-old was discovered on a track road on Faith Avenue, police say they...
You get the most comprehensive half hour of news.
Breach of the party's constitution.
Behind me is what remains of the Victoria Court apartment complex.
Our News at 7 brings you that truth in all of the day's top stories.
This is our news. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. The world just logged its third warmest July on record, according to the European Union's Copernicus Climate Change Service. While slightly cooler than record-breaking Julys of 2023 and 2024, last month's global average temperature was still 1.25 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. Scientists say the heat drove extremes worldwide, from deadly floods to Turkey's hottest day ever at 50.5 degrees Celsius. Copernicus director Carlo Buontempo warns that the streak of record months may have paused, but climate change hasn't, and without cutting greenhouse gas emissions, says more record heat and disasters are inevitable. 2/3 of bacterial infections in Gaza are now multi-drug resistant, according to new analysis of more than 1,300 hospital samples collected between November 2023 and August 2024. The collapse of Gaza's health system, with hospitals, labs, and water facilities damaged or destroyed, is reportedly fueling the spread of hard-to-treat infections, including methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus, or MRSA. Researchers warned that depleted antibiotic supplies, unsafe shelter conditions, and attacks on health facilities are worsening the crisis. They say recovery will take years, calling for an immediate ceasefire and urgent international aid to restore medical infrastructure and drug stocks. 9 people, including a former mayor, a city council member, and the chief of staff to a Texas state representative, they pleaded not guilty to felony vote harvesting charges. The indictments brought by Republican Attorney General Ken Paxton are part of a sweeping elections probe that Latino rights advocates call politically motivated. One defendant, fighting to have his case thrown out, arguing the state's vote harvesting law is overly broad and violates free speech. The charges carry up to 10 years in prison. Bitcoin has smashed through a new record, topping $124,000 in early Asian trading Thursday, fueled by expectations the Federal Reserve will cut interest rates and by pro-crypto reforms from the Trump administration. Ether also hit its highest level since 2021. Analysts say a sustained break above $125,000 could send Bitcoin surging to $150,000. The rally comes after a string of U.S. regulatory wins for crypto, including new rules allowing it in 401k retirement accounts. The total crypto market cap now stands above $4 trillion. That's up more than $1.5 trillion since last November. And the Commonwealth Secretariat has opened nominations for the 2026 Commonwealth Youth Awards, honoring young change makers aged 15 to 29 from its 56-member nations whose work advances the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Regional winners receive €3,000, and the Commonwealth Young Person of the Year earns €5,000 to scale their projects. This year marks the first partnership with the Commonwealth Association, aiming to boost support for youth-led innovations in fields from climate action to health. Nominations close on October 17th, and winners will be announced during Commonwealth Day week in March 2026. Still to come in our news, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was August 15th. Then in our news at 7:30.
With the threat of tropical storm Erin looming, Bahamians say they're ready should a hurricane hit our shores. I'm Berthany McDermott. We'll have those details for you tonight in our news.
Plus, we'll tell you the police officer to answer drug trafficking charges and the former bank teller accused of theft when our news returns.
More than 20 years in the making and still growing. Everywhere you turn, our news is there. From Charybdis to Karakomanchogam, the commendation of a queen, the coronation of a king, the controversies, our culture, in times of conscience and collective grief, connecting the stories of a country coming into its own, from then to now and still to come. Our news is everywhere, always there when it counts.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the record, we challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and the voices that matter. Our discussions shape policy, influence change, and inform the public like no other. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. The conversations that shape the Bahamas start here, on the record.
What do you get when you're searching for the whole truth?
Less than 24 hours after the body of 12-year-old was discovered on a track road on Faith Avenue, police say they...
You get the most comprehensive half hour of news.
Breach of the party's constitution.
Behind me is what remains of the Victoria Court Apartment Complex.
Our News at 7 brings you that truth in all of the day's top stories, sports, and our view of the world. Join me.
On this day in Bahamian history, in 1928, Paul Lawrence Adderley was born in Nassau, the nation's first and longest-serving Attorney General. In 2014, veteran engineer and sports leader Harold Bunning Sr. passed away. He was 90. 2 years later, in 2016, Shawnee Miller-Weibo dove across the line to win Olympic gold in Rio. And in 2020, health officials warned of a sharp COVID-19 surge linked to travel. To learn more about the events that shaped the day that was August 15th, head over to ournews.bs. Well, before he returned to Florida Memorial University to complete his senior year with the Lions men's baseball team, Bahamian Ferron Charlton hosting his inaugural TM Baseball Academy Summer Camp. The camp is at Blue Hills Sporting Complex and open to all interested players between the ages of 5 and 13 years old. The final day of the 3-day camp is tomorrow. Our News spoke with Charlton today to find out why it was important to give back to the next generation of baseball players.
I've always had the camps growing up for myself since I was a young child. It was a blessing and an opportunity to be able to play baseball outside of the regular Freedom Farm, J. Bellin schedules. I've always had the opportunity to better my game each day, in and out. There's always kids wanting to get better, and there's always places and times for camps like this to happen. I've always wanted to give back, and I'm blessed and happy to have this opportunity. It's just going over the basics of and understandings of how you want to hit the ball and what it takes to be consistent on a day-to-day level. It's not just come in here one day and work on it. These are drills that they can work home in their house, backyard, and be able to develop their skills on a day-to-day basis to one day get better.
Charlton is an infielder who transferred from Georgia State University to FMU, where he helped the Lions post a 21-26 win-loss record and 12-16 in the Sun Conference. His FMU coach, Tony Miranda, also at the camp.
I wanted to be an example so that the youth can understand that the game of baseball is very special, and it's taken me around the world. So if you can understand the disciplines of it, you can go around the world.
All right, out of the 40 members on Team Bahamas for the 2025 Goodwill Games, several representing the country for the very first time. It's a daunting task, especially if you're under the age of 10. Sasha Lightbourne spoke with several while they were still at Lyndon Pindling International Airport.
The drop time and PB and 50 breaths, well, basically PB in all my events, but try and get a medal in 50 breaths and 50 free and 100 free.
That's Breon Stewart, a first-timer at the Goodwill Games in Barbados, which also marks his debut on a national team. Breon will swim in several races, including multiple relays, but he's not alone. Other first-timers on this year's Goodwill team include Taj Archer, Asha Seymour, and Grace Nottage.
I want to get some personal best and get a lot of medals to help out Team Bahamas.
I would like to go personal best and possibly get some goals for my team.
My expectations are probably just trying to get PBs, just trying to swim fast and get some medals for my team.
Not to be outdone, Michaela Ferguson, Caitlin Dahlia Hanna, Renaya Roll, and Sean Monroe Jr. all have their eyes set on the medal podium.
I really want to get some personal bests, and I also want to help lead Team Bahamas to victory and just make people watching from home proud.
I want to go my personal best times. I want to make my parents and the Bahamas proud and bring back medals.
I'm planning to get medals in every race I swim and try to bring back the gold for the Bahamas.
I'm swimming 50 fly, 50 breast, 100 breast, 100 fly, 200 freestyle relay, 200 medley relay, and the 400 medley relay. And I expect a drop time on all my events.
By now, competition is already underway right here at Barbados' Aquatic Center. Be sure to stay tuned for all the latest on Our News' social media pages, as well as Our News Weekend with Berthany McDermott for exclusive coverage. Reporting from Barbados for Our News, I'm Sasha Lightbourne.
All right, thanks so much for that, Sasha, and we are certainly wishing them all the best. If you want to watch that story again and for all of today's top stories, visit ournews.bs. That does it for us, the news at 7. Joining us now, Megan Shepherd. She's got the latest headlines. Megan, happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
We're heading into the weekend.
Finally.
Thankfully, but hey, I mean, Aaron is still out there.
Absolutely.
So we still got to
stay in our P's and
Q's. But hey, I know that you said you're a swimmer.
I am. Big time swimmer. My dad made sure my brother and I learned at the YMCA in Grand Bahama.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
we're pretty
strong to be
swimmer.
on Team Bahamas?
I think so. I think if I even practice a little 1 or 2 laps, I can get up there.
Maybe we should add swimming.
Maybe not gold, bronze. I'll bring on my bronze.
Maybe we should add swimming to our list of game nights.
I like it.
Again, not too well at the dominoes, although you're pretty good at dominoes. But hey,
my heart.
maybe add swimming to it too.
We'll add swimming to it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Kendino. Well, coming up straight ahead, we'll tell you the police officer to answer drug trafficking charges and the former bank teller accused of theft. Here are your latest headlines. First tonight, we're tracking the tropics. The first named hurricane of the season, Erin, is making its way west. Meteorologist Greg Thompson has the latest on the Category 1 hurricane. Plus, the residents on Grand Bahama say they're seeing double, taking to social media to blast the GBPC over their recent high electricity bills. The company responds. And then, an F&M senator is accusing government of not doing enough to address what she calls the country's broken public healthcare system. We'll tell you her myriad of concerns. And later, despite a recent court case gripping headlines involving the Defense Force Rangers program, the Commodore is defending the youth program, touting its success over the years. We have the details for these stories and more when our news continues.
Kendino Notes here, and thank you so much for watching. Be sure and hit that follow button if you want to see more stories like this. Be sure and follow all of the Our News social media pages. And hey, don't forget, turn on your notifications so you never miss out on top stories from the team you already trust.
At Struckham, we're all about peace of mind. With the latest tools and technology like PestPack, managing pest control just got easier. It's simple. Log on to the portal to review pest services or monitor trends. Just tap Service Reports to access detailed records and see how we're keeping your business pest-free. You can even customize permissions so your teams in maintenance and health and safety have real-time access to everything they need. With PestPack, you're in control, anytime, anywhere. Get ready to simplify pest management with just a few taps.
Whether you're battling a chronic condition or offsetting a new injury, Doctors Hospital's comprehensive rehab services offer the help you need now.
Go to doctors.
3 advanced facilities at Collins Avenue, Carmichael Road, in Cable Beach means your personalized plan for care is just a visit away. From physiotherapy to occupational therapy and speech and language pathology, our team approach is all about rebuilding together. For a full list of services, visit doctorshosp.com/rehabilitation. Doctors Hospital, trusted and best care now. Isn't your health worth it?
In the Bahamas, island time is real. The history of Morris Lumber Company, established in 1945, is etched into the fabric of this proud island nation. It's a story that deserves to be celebrated in full color, and that's where we...
Welcome to our news and thank you for joining us. I'm Megan Shepard. Well, we officially have the first named hurricane of the season in Erin. The Category 1 hurricane is currently making its way toward the Caribbean, bringing with it powerful winds and heavy rainfall. Getting us started tonight is meteorologist Greg Thompson with the latest. Greg.
Thanks, Megan. Of course, you mentioned everything right there. This is a strengthening system. It's out there in the open Atlantic, and it is actually going to continue to strengthen as it pushes towards the west and eventually makes that northwest turn. That system, Erin, becoming a Category 1 hurricane earlier today. It's now up to 90 miles per hour and actually some higher gusts. The movement is towards the west-northwest at around 17 miles per hour. The system will continue on that track. That system, as I mentioned, staying out there in the open Atlantic, should brush the northern portions of the Leeward Islands with a lot of showers and some thunderstorm activity, as well as this very large surf. The system will continue on that westerly track. Eventually, by tomorrow, we expect it to make a jog towards the west-northwest. Still staying or remaining a Category 1 storm, but all the models now and all the forecasts out in the future shows the system strengthening to a very strong major hurricane, Category 3, initially by Sunday, and then Category 4. This system will be just the beam of the Bahamas. And of course, as I mentioned, we will begin to start to feel the effects of the swells and the large battering waves. So Southeast Bahamas and the Central Bahamas, we're asking you to continue to monitor the progress of the system as the system continues that push towards the west and eventually northwest. As I mentioned, large battering waves and swells beginning to affect us by Sunday into Monday. And of course, we don't recommend anybody being out there in the open Atlantic as well as in the Southeast and Central Bahamas if you plan on doing any boating, eventually spreading across the chain of islands by Wednesday into Thursday before the system pulls well to the north and east from us. But the swells will remain, so do exercise extreme caution next week if you plan on being out there anywhere near the waters. That's your first look at Erin. We'll tell you more about what Erin is going to do eventually as it pulls away from us.
All right, thanks so much for that, Greg. Well, the peak of the hurricane season is here, and weather forecasters are closely watching the first named hurricane of the season, as well as its possible impact. But are Bahamians ready? Our Berthine McDermott tells us that while some are, others are still in the process of preparing. This against the backdrop of a country they say needs to do more to brace itself for the possibility of another major storm.
With the threat of Hurricane Erin looming, Bahamians we spoke to said they are ready should the storm take an unexpected turn. These Bahamians shared with us what they did well in advance to protect their homes and families.
Well, I got my storm shutters and everything and put them up, and that's it.
You have like water, like batteries, like stuff like
as far as that stuff, I have water, light, and I have equipment.
I have all the shadows and other stuff like that. And, I have them ready and prepared anytime I need them.
But while those Bahamians have already prepared for the possibility of a storm, these Bahamians say they are currently making preparations.
I'm going to try to get some canned goods and stuff, and try to pay up some bills if it is possible before it reach.
Buy candles, flashlight, make sure I have stock up on canned goods, stuff like that.
Erin strengthened into a hurricane early Friday as the storm continued on its path over the Atlantic Ocean. It's the first named hurricane for the 2025 Atlantic season. Forecasters are urging people in the Caribbean islands and Miami to monitor Erin's progress, warning of the potential for heavy rainfall and life-threatening surf and rip current conditions. Friday morning, Erin packed maximum sustained winds of 75 miles per hour, making it a Category 1 hurricane.
I am believing, through the grace of God, that it will not make a turn.
The last major storm to hit the Bahamas was Monster Storm Dorian back in 2019. Nearly 6 years later, Bahamians tell us they don't think the country has taken sufficient steps to prepare for the possibility of another major storm.
I think government needs to tighten up on the back strokes and try and make preparation for the people like in my age, senior people and thing, because it's rough for us.
And from residents who say they're prepared for the hurricane season, here are steps they say you should take to get ready.
The best thing is be prepared, because if you're not prepared, you're going to get hit.
First of all, make your connection with God to ensure that He is hearing you. And then from there, you do what you can to help yourself. God help those that help themselves.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Meantime, as residents across the country are preparing for a hurricane, Grand Bahama residents are livid. Some waking up this week to sky-high electricity bills they say simply don't make sense. Many took to social media to vent, calling the Grand Bahama Power Company heartless. Tonight, we hear from residents and a local MP who's demanding answers.
One furious customer posting, quote, Grand Bahama Power, you really need to do better. You shouldn't be doing your customers like this. This is robbery, sad, end quote. Another blasting, quote, that's two bills in one, end quote. And those were just two of dozens of comments over high electricity bills from the Grand Bahama Power Company flooding Facebook and WhatsApp Thursday morning. Residents described the bills as unfair and heartless, while others call for a full investigation and public answers from the power provider. We spoke with Grand Bahama resident Roberto Taylor, who says he noticed an increase in his bill up to $100.
I'm a person that works many hours throughout the day. I don't spend a lot of time at home. So the increase was unfortunate. And then especially with the poor service we've been getting. We have many power outages, especially business persons.
For Eddie Monroe, he says what the company is doing is unconscionable and questions when it will stop.
To hike whatever charges they want on Grand Bahamians, and that has to stop. In fact, I spoke about this on Facebook just yesterday.
He adds it's disheartening.
Especially, I believe, for single mothers, single fathers, those who are struggling to put food on the table and to keep a roof over their head. Having to deal with power bills that is close to or next to paying rent, next to paying mortgages.
While Michael Thurston says the bills are not feasible.
Considering the economic state of Grand Bahama.
West Grand Bahama and Bimini Member of Parliament Kingsley Smith also speaking out. He says not just as a politician, but as a resident. In the statement, he says he's utterly bewildered and infuriated by the spike in bills. Smith says he's heard the same complaint over and over. The math isn't mathing. He questions how bills can double without any major change in consumption. He says explanations from the power company haven't convinced him, calling the explanations inadequate and pointing out that while GBPC's fuel surcharge keeps climbing, there's been no corresponding jump in oil prices. Now we reached out to the Grand Bahama Power Company for comment. The company in a statement shared the August fuel charge increased from 18.84 cents per kilowatt hour in July to 23.53 cents due to more diesel-powered generation. The company says it doesn't profit from the fuel charge. GBPC says it understands the strain higher bills can cause, especially during the summer months, and is working to improve efficiency and move toward more affordable energy. Reporting for Our News, I'm Natalia Hall.
Thanks so much, Italia. Well, Free National Movement Senator Michaela Barnett Ellis calling on the Davis administration to take action to improve what she calls the country's broken public health care system. Her plea came as senators debated a compendium of health bills, which, among other things, included the National Health Insurance Bill 2025. The government hails the bills as an effort to modernize and improve access to health care across the Bahamas. According to Barnett Ellis, while the bills speak to plans, policies, and commissions, it leaves out plans to repair hospital kitchens, repair equipment, and keep healthcare professionals at home.
Words on the page sound promising, but our people need more than promises. They need action, as real and as measurable as what was delivered before. The public health care system in this country is broken. The gap between private health care services and public health care services is embarrassingly wide. So wide that it now feels like two different countries are operating within our borders.
Senators also debated the Health Promotion and Wellness Bill 2025, the National Health Insurance Bill 2025, the Dental Professions Bill 2025, the Pharmacy Bill 2025, and the National Health Insurance Bill 2025. Zoning in on the Health Promotion and Wellness Bill, the F&M senator said the real work that needs to happen isn't being prioritized.
A local hospital can only operate in emergency cases because of a lack of resources. That is not adequate for health and well-being. A hospital without scrub brushes, IV fluids, IV kits, essential medicine, or essential surgical equipment is not adequate for health and well-being.
A senior police officer accused of helping drug traffickers now has a case to answer. ASP Sony Miller faces charges including drug possession with intent to supply, conspiracy, importation, and abatement to import dangerous drugs. The charges stem from a June 2022 seizure in Acklands. 181 pounds of cocaine worth $1.4 million and 31 pounds of marijuana valued at $34,000 were confiscated. Two Colombians linked to the case, Christian Aristobal and Christian Aragon, pleaded guilty to trafficking in 2023 and received 60-month sentences. Their time was reduced by 14 months in exchange for testifying against Miller. A former bank teller is facing serious theft allegations. 32-year-old Kenrisha Major is accused of stealing $16,600 from the Royal Bank of Canada on November 16, 2019, while on the job. Prosecutors say she also falsified accounts to make it look like 3 customers withdrew $15,000 collectively. Major pleaded not guilty before Assistant Chief Magistrate Carolyn Vo Evans and was granted $7,000 bail. She is scheduled to return to court for trial on October 8th. A jury has been selected in a 2022 attempted murder case. Prosecutors say Cleophas Smith and another tried to kill Leonard Simonet. He was working on a car through Peter Street when gunmen emerged from a black car and shot him, sending him to hospital with a shattered femur. Smith, who's on remand, has denied the charge at his trial before Justice Renee Mackey. Well, days after a Royal Bahamas Defense Force officer was arraigned for cruelty and 2 counts of indecent assault, RBDF Commodore Floyd Moxey is defending the Rangers program. The RBDF Marine earlier this week was accused of abusing 7 male cadets at a Rangers camp in Eleuthera this summer and was granted $15,000 bail. Police allege the 26-year-old Marine sexually and physically abused the cadets, ages 11 to 19, between June 20th and July 19th in Eleuthera. The allegations stem from reports of physical assaults, forced consumption of toilet water, and sexually inappropriate behavior by a supervising officer at the camp. Not addressing the specific incident, Commodore Moxey telling us he intends to ensure the program succeeds.
It has produced leaders that are now serving in the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, the police force, and other agency. And that is a program that we will continue to ensure that it thrives and that it grows.
Rangers program is in multiple schools across several islands like Grand Bahama, Abaco, New Providence, and Eleuthera, and includes high school students from grades 7 through 12. Moxey touted the program's success record over the years.
But what I would say is that the Rangers program is a long-standing, effective, and a progressive program that have assisted thousands of young men and women with discipline.
Well, it was the kind of scene you don't expect to see at an airport, and yet it's the one that had everyone talking last week. Take a look at this shocking video. 3 women in a wild brawl right inside Grand Bahamas International Airport. Tourists could be seen quickly backing away as the fight broke out in the passenger terminal, the women pulling, shoving, and swinging at each other. During a press briefing by police in Grand Bahama, press liaison officer Superintendent Stephen Rule confirmed that the 3 Bahamian women were charged in court for fighting in a public place. Superintendent Rule made it clear adults should know how to conduct themselves in public.
I expect particularly adults to know how to resolve conflicts, especially in public places. And whenever in doubt, reach out to someone, or your local police officer, security officer, or even some appropriate adult to try and bring some resolve to the matter before it gets to this fighting in public places and find yourself before the court for even as minor as fighting as maybe something serious.
The superintendent says this incident should be a warning.
This can serve as an example for others. Hopefully that they take heed and not to follow the same trend of this type of behavior in public places.
When our news comes back from the break, from soft skills to owning the workplace, the Sunset Pilot Club of Grand Bahama is preparing young people to succeed in the workforce. We have the details right after this break.
In the Bahamas, island time is real. The history of Morris Lumber Company, established in 1945, is etched into the fabric of this proud island nation. It's a story that deserves to be celebrated in full color, and that's where we come in. Morris the Paint Place has been bringing color and vitality to homes and businesses across the Bahamas. Here, color is more than just a hue, it's a symbol of life. Together, we can paint a brighter future.
Things may be tough, but Wendy's got you covered. Grab a day single or chicken.
The Sunset Pilot Club of Grand Bahama is making sure the next time a young person applies for a job, they're prepared in all areas. This year, the service organization is stepping up their game and hosted a job readiness seminar equipping young people with the necessary skills, professionalism, and the right attitude. From teaching soft skills to showing young people how to show up, look the part, and own their space in the workplace, they're paving the way for future success. One of the participants, Anaya Reckley, shared how eye-opening the experience has been.
It also taught me that when you go in the real world, that there's things that we can do, small business to bigger business, but it was great. It taught me that I could build my business bigger if I went to do baking and became successful and all sorts of things. But they encourage us we could do this out there in the real world.
And of course, the facilitation of this program is no easy feat, but dedicated instructors have really made it work. And they're proud of the progress the participants have made so far. From learning about entrepreneurship to mastering soft skills, these young participants are being shaped for success. Here's program facilitator Karen Bain.
I was one of the facilitators for the summer initiative, and it is one that is timely because we know that many of the business places always talk about persons not having soft skills, and knowing how to behave in the work environment, also being prepared is paramount. And so this gives our students an early start on what they need to do to make sure that they are well equipped.
Coming up in sports, Team Bahamas hits the court running in Nicaragua. The region is here and our national volleyball teams are ready to defend home soil. Swimming wraps up at the Junior Pan Ams. And what would your Friday be without the top plays of the week?
Things may be tough, but Wendy's got you covered. Grab a day single or chicken sandwich with a junior fries and 16-ounce beverage for just $6.95. Why choose less from the other guys when you can get more? At Wendy's, we're providing bigger bites and better deals. So purchase your Tings Tough Value Meal today. Now available at all locations excluding the airport and food truck.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you. At the Airport Industrial Park,
and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record. We challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and the voices that matter. Our discussions shape policy, influence change, and inform the public like no other. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. It was a travel day for some of the players on the roster, but once Team Bahamas hit the court in Nicaragua, it quickly turned into a business trip. The men's senior national team was dominant in their first training camp scrimmage ahead of the FIBA AmeriCup with a 95-56 win over the host country in Managua, Nicaragua. Dominic Bridgewater led 5 Bahamian players in double figures with 18 points and 7 assists. Kentuan Smith scored 16. Keno Burrows and Sammy Hunter each had 13. Franco Miller Jr. had a complete stat line with 11 points, 7 boards, and 6 assists, while Isaiah Mobley nearly had a double-double in his national team debut, 9 points, 13 boards, and 3 blocks.
No, it was a wonderful experience getting to play out here with the Bahamian team for my first time. We got the dub. It was fun. We sprayed the ball around. I'm proud of the guys, and I can't wait to go out there again.
The Bahamas returns to the court for a rematch with Nicaragua tomorrow night.
I was anxious. I was nervous. There wasn't much preparation before going into the game, but the staff did an unbelievable job of helping our guys prepare. And when we came in the shoot around, our guys were locked in and focused on what we needed to do to prepare for the game.
The 19th edition of the Caribbean Zonal Volleyball Association Senior Championships are set to get underway this weekend at the Kendall Isaacs Gymnasium. Team Bahamas takes center stage for 2 fixtures right away on Saturday at 7:30 p.m. The men's team goes head-to-head with Jamaica in Group A. Then on Sunday at 8 p.m., the women's team battles Guadeloupe in Pool D action. This marks the first time since 2006 that the Bahamas is hosting this prestigious regional tournament, making it a significant milestone for the nation's volleyball community. The Bahamas' men's 4x100 meter relay team delivered a strong closing performance at the 2025 Junior Pan American Games in Paraguay. Lamar Taylor, Emmanuel Gadsden, Nigel Forbes, and Marvin Johnson finished 7th in the final in a new national record time, 3 minutes 45.26 seconds. It was the 5th national record for this year's aquatics team at the event. 3 came from the relays. The highlight of the team's performance was, of course, Lamar Taylor's silver in the 50-meter free and bronze in the 100-meter free, along with his 2 national records. It's Friday, and it seems criminal that summer's almost coming to an end already, but I heard it's a big weekend out there for some people. What, I'm talking about sports only. Anyway, let's get to top plays. Let's get started at 5. Jazz goes deep for number 20 on the season, and Lord knows the Yankees needed it. Well, they still need a lot more. Coming in at 4, Deshaun Knowles gets steal number 214. Not in this game, or that would be a record. He must have had an incredible trainer in the offseason. That was me. At 3, we head to Nicaragua. Isaiah Mobley makes his debut in a Bahamas jersey and throws it down with no regard for human life. At number 2, Combat Sports makes the list, and Xavier Johnson makes all kinds of Bahamian history with his bronze medal at the Junior Pan Ams in Paraguay. Arguably the greatest feat ever for the sport in the country. And finally, at number 1, we stay in Paraguay. Lamar Taylor, 2 national records, 2 medals, silver in the 50 free, bronze in the 100 free. Paraguay has been so good to him. That'll do it for Our Sports. This is 10YS, and I kind of feel like we should be a little more hospitable to Nicaragua after they invited us to training camp. But then again, I don't want the volleyball teams to have any of that hospitality this week. Just, wreck everybody. Back to the studio.
When our news comes back from the break, Greg is back in the Weather Center with a complete look at your forecasts across the country, plus the latest on Hurricane Erin. Stick with us.
For over 2 decades.
We have the 5th named storm for the season and the first hurricane in the form of Erin, which is really churning out there. It's moving into some very conducive environment for some further development or intensification, and the forecast actually has the system really intensifying for the weekend. Current position at 5 p.m. places the system at 18.9 degrees north, 57.6 west, winds 75 miles per hour with higher gusts, and those gusts are up to 92 miles per hour. Still moving west-northwest at 17 miles per hour with a pretty nice clip, and that system will continue on that track. But we do hope this system, or anticipate the system, to make a more northwesterly turn, and that will be on the weekend as it continues to push towards the west, and it should bring it just to the east of the Bahamas. We will continue to monitor the system. The impact for the Bahamas will be strong, dangerous surf, as well as some large surf waves actually affecting the Atlantic exposures. So we're asking you boaters and beachgoers not to get in the waters for the weekend. It's going to get very rough and dangerous over the next couple of days as the system stays just to the east of us. As I mentioned, rapid intensification on the weekend, making it up to a Category 4 system. That's a very strong system, and it will continue to pull towards the north. We do think Bermuda, we'll have to watch this one very closely as the system is anticipated to get very close to that location. Also in the tropics, we do have a very weak system in the Gulf of Mexico, and that's actually falling apart. National Hurricane Center giving that almost a near zero chance for development over the next couple of days, but that system will be moving inland. Closer to home, we have a weak surface trough moving across our area. That's going to spark a few isolated showers and thunderstorms, but all in all, the high pressure system will stay in charge of our weather through the weekend, and as Erin gets closer to us, we should see, or likely to see, some clouds and some weather affecting possibly portions of the southeast Bahamas as well as the Turks and the Caicos Islands. As I mentioned, rough surf, dangerous waves affecting the island chain, and that will continue through most of next week. But by Thursday, we expect the system, as it pulls towards the north and east and away from us, we should see some subsidence in this system as it continues to move away from our area. Boating forecast for the northwest Bahamas tonight through tomorrow. Your winds will be out of the east at 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet. We have a slight rip current risk. High tide, low tide actually is at 7:46 tonight. The high tide takes place at 1:36 in the morning. For the central and southeast Bahamas, rip current risk also in place for you guys down there. Winds will be more northeast to east at 10 to 15 knots. Seas running 2 to 4 feet over open waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. Extended forecast. We do have some spotty showers in the forecast Saturday and Sunday, Monday time frame, Tuesday time frame, with some of those rain bands possibly affecting portions of the Bahamas. We could stick some showers in there that should take us through most of the week. By Thursday, most of the activity will be pulling away from us, but those temperatures are still going to be in place. We still have that heat advisory for the entire chain, but that is likely to be dropped for the early part of next week. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night. Have a great weekend, everybody. And of course, stay tuned to updates on air.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Greg. And I know all week you've been saying the word of the week. And last week was preparation. So you would say by tomorrow we should have everything finalized in terms of preparation.
You say preparation? This is a good time now to get your hurricane plans in order. We are starting to see those hurricanes or those tropical waves come off of Africa, and the season is approaching the peak. So get your hurricane plans in order, please.
Thanks so much for that, Greg. Well, we have our marching orders. And now we are learning of some tragic news from Celebration Key after 2 American tourists died in separate drowning incidents. Police say around 1 p.m. Friday, they received a report of a 79-year-old man who drowned while snorkeling in the waters around Celebration Key. Authorities say that matter is under active investigation. And in a separate incident, police also looking into the death of a 74-year-old woman who drowned while swimming in the pool on the Key. Officials are expected to issue a press release with more details soon. And of course, we'll keep following this story and bring you the latest updates right at the Our News Bahamas Facebook page. Again, this news just coming into our newsroom. And with that, we thank you so much for joining us for Our News tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Megan Shepherd. We will see you right back here tomorrow night for Our News Weekend with Berkini McDermott. Have a safe and wonderful evening.